entering the landscape beneath thought, the place where your earliest truths were written before language existed. This is where the mind learned to protect itself, and where protection slowly became prison. Your nervous system has been recording your story since before you knew what a story even was. It memorized the tone in your parents' voices. It memorized the way silence felt after you disappointed them. It memorized the subtle shifts in the air pressure when love became conditional, when affection was replaced by distance. Each memory became data stored as fact. And from that data, your subconscious built an equation. If I perform, I am safe. If I rest, I disappear. That equation has been running quietly ever since, beneath your goals, your relationships, your exhaustion. Every accomplishment has whispered, maybe now I'm enough. Every moment of rest has felt like danger because the subconscious believed that stillness would cost you belonging. But today that code begins to break. You are not in that childhood environment anymore. There's no one here whose love you must earn. The version of you that learned to hustle for worth was brilliant, adaptive, strategic, sensitive to every nuance of approval and withdrawal. That child became an expert in emotional survival. But survival was never meant to be your permanent state. As you breathe in and out, imagine the architecture of that old code. Every neuron wired for vigilance, every pathway shaped by shame. Imagine them beginning to soften. The edges begin to blur. The body remembers that safety can exist without performance. Now we travel deeper. Picture yourself standing in the threshold of an old house. This is the mind that raised you. The rooms are filled with echoes of the rules that you once lived by. You don't need to destroy this house. Only walk through it consciously. In the first room, you hear the voice of your childhood self whispering, "Maybe if I'm quiet, they'll love me." You step closer, you don't argue, you don't shame the child for believing it. You place your hand gently on their shoulder and you say, "I understand why you thought that." And the moment you say those words, the belief begins to lose its power. Because the subconscious doesn't need punishment to change. It needs understanding. In the second room, you find a different version of yourself. The one who overachieved, who never rested, who thought perfection was proof of love. They are tired. Their hands tremble from carrying everyone else's expectations. You kneel before them and you say, "You never had to be perfect to be safe." Watch how their eyes widen. The nervous system doesn't yet believe you, but something inside begins to consider the possibility. This is the beginning of reprogramming. When the body feels something new enough times that the old reflex becomes optional. Now walk into the final room. Here sits the quietest part of you, the one who always felt unseen. This one doesn't cry or speak. They only wait. Sit beside them in silence. Let your presence say what words never could. I see you now. Pause here and just breathe. The subconscious begins to reorganize around new data. Safety plus visibility no longer equals danger. Love no longer equals performance. The new equation begins to write itself. Being equals worth. Rest equals safety. Existence equals enough. Repeat this in your mind slowly. I no longer earn love. I embody it. I no longer chase approval. I create safety within myself. I no longer shrink to be accepted. I expand to be seen. Now visualize your parents or your caretakers, whoever shaped your early imprint, and imagine them standing before you. You don't need to forgive them. You don't need to carry them. Simply recognize they could only love from the level of awareness they had. They could only love from the level of awareness they had. Their blindness is no longer your inheritance. Their silence is no longer your language. Their lack of seeing is no longer your mirror. You have the power to end this lineage of unworthiness, not by fighting the past, but by remembering the truth that came before it. Feel that truth rising from somewhere ancient and unbroken within you. Before they taught you what love was supposed to be, you already knew. You were born as love observing itself. That knowing has been waiting patiently beneath all of the noise, waiting for the moment you would turn inward and remember. Now whisper this truth as if you're downloading it into your cells. I am safe to exist without performance. I am loved without condition. I am worthy without proof. I am seen without effort. I am home in myself. Breathe those words through every layer of your nervous system. See them traveling through the body like new circuitry, reconnecting the wires that shame once severed. The subconscious doesn't change because you tell it to. It changes because you show it a new experience. And right now, you're showing it what safety feels like. And notice the quiet that follows. The quiet isn't emptiness, it's space. Space where striving used to live. Space where self-judgment used to echo. Space where freedom can finally begin to grow. Let that spaciousness expand. You are not the product of what your parents couldn't see. You're the evolution of awareness itself, the living proof that love, when remembered, can rewrite an entire lineage. The story of never enough, it ends here, right now. The story of wholeness begins.